Oh, yeah. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 119. What is that? Of Two Dudes of Sports News. As always, my name is Garrett here, my co-host.
Symbol of Omega Psi Phi.
That
I'm in. Don't
my
ask too
fault.
many questions. You
Did
good?
not mean disrespect.
What it do?
I didn't
what
know.
It do? This is Jalen Prince.
Drop my pen. Hang on.
Pick the pen up.
Got it. Don't worry.
Okay.
I got a fiddle.
Okay.
With like my pen.
Get your words out. Get your words out.
I am tired. Anyways, fun start to the episode as usual. So we are live, as you can see. Thank you guys for joining us, episode 119. If you're listening to this live, you can find us. We talk about it at TDSN Pod on Twitter, at TDSN Pod on YouTube, all that fun stuff. You can find it. We go live. If you want to hop on YouTube, hop in the comment section and talk to us about it. If we like the comment, we'll talk about it. If we're interested, we'll talk about it, and we'll go from there. Talking at a million miles an hour because I got to catch up because we are running behind. But we got a bunch of things to talk about today. We got an announcement.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
We got a lot to talk about.
Ain't no bunch. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
We got a lot.
Such a short time.
We got an announcement coming to the end because we're taking something on, and we'll see how it goes. But dude, let's get right into it, man. Let's get into SEC football media days. You were paying closer attention than I was. So what we currently have per the SEC media poll, there's a lot we can get into. I mean, I could talk about how Napier's happy about DJ. They built the team around him. Everything's fine. Apparently, Oklahoma really tried to keep Jackson Arnold, which surprised nobody.
He's going to the Plains.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me at all.
A lot of that'll make a difference.
Yeah, that's a different conversation. But what we have right now, if you joined us live on YouTube, is going to be the 2025 SEC football media poll for the rankings at the end of the season. Number 1, they have Texas. Number 2 is Georgia. 3 is Bama. 4 is LSU. 5 is South Carolina. 6 is Florida. 7 is Ole Miss. 8 is A&M. 9 is Tennessee. 10 Oklahoma. Auburn, Missouri, Vandy, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Mississippi State at 16.
Basically, it gets irrelevant very fast at the bottom. But overall, dog, here's the thing. I don't have no problem as far as the media because it's preseason. Obviously, Texas is going to reach the most hype. What's been the most hyped quarterback that's going to spark up the most conversations in college football? In reality, it should be Lenore Sellers from South Carolina, based off what he did last year. But in entertainment and media is going to be the guy who got the famous last name in college football, which is Arch Manning. So obviously you tie that into the recruiting classes coming into this year, how they finished off in the second round of the college football playoffs. They're going to be loaded at wide receiver again. They're going to have a ton of weapons. They're going to have a strong run game. They still got Sark. They got the money. They got all the attention. So there's no big shock that these jokers are going to be picked to win the SEC. It ain't going to happen because they can't beat number 2 and they won't beat number 3.
It can't be number 2 currently. I mean, the biggest thing I'll take away too is I don't know. Georgia's my biggest question mark going into this year, and that's no disrespect towards Georgia.
Where are those question marks going towards with them?
Can they bounce back from last year? The passing offense was abysmal from everything I saw. They disappeared towards the back half of some games. But one thing that you're never going to worry about with a Kirby Smart team is a Kirby Smart defense.
True.
So the defense is not my concern with Georgia. It's their offense's ability to put up points and really just lean into it. That's my concern with Georgia. They put up plenty against Florida, which, whatever. It's fine. It's not that I think they're a bad team, but I think they do have some questions, just like every team has questions. Can Arch step up when he disappeared at times last year against Georgia's defense? How's Tennessee going to rebound? How is Florida going to show up with another nightmare schedule? Personally, I can see Florida winning 8 to 9 games, but that's just me. There's a couple teams I'm not as worried about, and there's a couple teams that I am concerned about. I'm concerned about Texas. I am concerned about Georgia. I'm concerned about LSU. But we'll see what happens. There's a lot of questions. Jalen, like you said, this is preseason, so I'm not stressed about it yet. I think for how much trash Diego Pavia has been talking, then being a 13 is hilarious.
Yeah, we got to bounce back from that. I think with this list, I would love for. I would say rather than love, I would like for Ole Miss to receive a lot more love than what they got now. I get why Florida is higher.
Mm-hmm.
They have question marks. Bama has question marks at the quarterback position. You already know my standpoint when it comes to the Tide. Alabama, to me, if we had the only question is quarterback play. Because coaching is not my concern. You got Ryan Grubb back. You got the top offensive line coach in the country at Alabama. And you got Kalen DeBoer, who knows how to win, especially when he's given time and resources. And he has the time, and now he has the resources even more. The wide receiving group is loaded. And I'm not going to make too much of this about Bama. We'll do that another day and time. But in this current state, the only question that you have to ask or that you have to answer for Alabama is the quarterback position. One, who's going to start right now, it's looking like Ty Simpson. The other thing is going to be consistent quarterback play. If we get that, if the Tide gets that, then again, I've said this repeatedly, I will be shocked if Alabama loses more than 2 games. Does not matter how that schedule goes.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
If we have consistent quarterback play, Bama should not lose more than 2 games.
That's fair. I see that. For me, if Florida gets 8 or 9, I'm happy. That's where I'm at with it. I expect 8 or 9 wins from this Florida team because they've been hyping it up. They've apparently built around DJ. There's a lot of hype going in with DJ into the season. You saw the flashes last year. Can he put it all together? Can Napier put together a full, can Napier put together a full game plan? There's a lot of questions, but we can sit here all day talking. We got to move on.
Yep.
There's been some NBA news.
Been a few.
It's been a few. This might be my favorite. Chris Paul and Bradley Beal are Clippers.
Yeah, Chris Paul's returning back with the Clippers. I think probably in another time we'll debate as far as is Chris Paul the greatest Clipper of all time? I think that should be up for discussion because if you got to look at their lineage, you can say Blake Griffin as far as the lengthiness of their career, but I think more impactful and player-wise, I think it's Chris Paul, but that's not the conversation that we're about to have.
No.
I'm happy for him because he's going back to LA. He's going back to the Clippers.
He's a sixth man there, though. He's not starting.
It's good for him to a certain degree. You don't know how it's going to play out, but I get where we're about to go with this conversation. I just want to point that out there. But go ahead and take off.
This team is so old, but okay. When I say old, I mean by professional athlete standards. I am 30. These guys are not old by normal standards, but by professional athlete standards. This is one of the oldest teams in the NBA, if not the oldest. They have an average age of 33 years old.
Okay.
Which when you have guys who are coming in at 18, 19, 20, making up key pieces of a team, there's no longevity in this team. Half these guys are at the tail end of their career. And we'll see how I would be surprised if they're competitive.
Sorry.
You're good. I would be surprised if they're competitive, but that's just me. So, but I mean, we get, there's been other NBA moves, but the Chris Paul to the Clippers one is the main one that I think you and I wanted to talk about.
Let me ask you this: out of 82 games, what's the win? How many wins do you expect if all these guys are, semi-healthy and managed right? Because Ty Lue's still one of the top coaches in the NBA. A lot of these guys are going to be productive, but let's see. I think it's not even a matter of the old thing. It's a matter of out of 10 of these guys on this list, you got to think about how many games they're going to play.
I would be shocked if there's 40 wins on this roster. This is not a 500 team.
If they're managed right, if they're managed, now that I disagree. I do believe that this will be a 500 team.
This is not a 500 team, and we can clip this at the end of the season, and I will admit whether I'm right or
I'm gonna say
wrong.
This is a play. Okay, I'll say this is a playoff play-in team.
No. I don't see them. They do not. If they win 500, if they hit 500, it will be by the skin of their teeth. This roster is not winning more than 45 games.
Yeah, but
not at all.
Nah.
Not winning more than 45 games.
I'm gonna say play in.
I could not disagree with you more.
All right.
Could not disagree with you more.
All right.
But we can move on from that. Is there any other NBA stuff that I missed?
Not that I can think of that actually mattered.
Fair enough. Let me try to find one more image file that I wanted to find before we get into some WNBA All-Star Weekend talks. Because there was a lot that happened. Jalen,
there was a lot that happened.
There's a lot that happened. Jalen, I'll let you start taking this one away.
All right. WNBA All-Star Weekend, they happened later on, like they happened early on this week. To me, entertainment-wise, it was fun. It lived up to I think it exceeded a lot more hype outside of the game itself. The game was cool. I think, God help me say her name right. Nafisa Collier, I believe she won All-Star MVP. Congrats to her. I think the ratings were high for that. To be honest, actually, hold on. Let's see. No, the MLB All-Star Game was the number one ranked, was the number one viewed All-Star Game this year.
But let's talk on that briefly, because that was crazy.
It was good.
It was good. It was good. I like a swing. I need to swing off every year.
Quick pet peeve, because I want to get back to WNBA.
For sure. My bad.
Dog, I'm gonna say how can I get this word out? Oh, I was ticked off. First off, I love the swing off on MLB All-Star. I love the swing off. I loved it. But I got a problem with Dave Roberts, the manager of the Dodgers. You're in Atlanta, you have a swing off, and you don't have one Brave a part of that swing off. No. Here's what he did. He had Kyle Stowers, or I think his name's Kyle Stowers, of the Marlins. And then he'll have Kyle Schwarber, Phillies. And then if it made it to the third round, he was going to have Pete Alonso with the Mets. You got three teams that the Braves Atlanta hates, and you're going to put them in a swing off, and you ain't going to put one Brave. That ticked me off.
That almost.
I'm glad the NL won, because I had that predicted on MLB show. But that set me off.
That almost seems on purpose. I don't know. That almost seems on purpose. I don't know. I am not an MLB manager. I have no insight on this, but that almost seems on purpose.
But the game itself, it was entertaining.
No, the game itself was incredible.
It was good. It was good. Yeah. Atlanta showed out, did his thing. No big surprise. Shout out to Cal Raleigh, winning winning the home run derby award. Like, not to mention the year that joke was having. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I know somebody who went to the All-Star game and they left in the 7th.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know. And I'm sure they'll still regret it.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's what it is. But yeah, let's get back to the All-Star Weekend.
So this was very entertaining in a lot of aspects, as far as just like be able to market all the players and market the league. In the sense of their skills challenge, their 3-point shootout, with a 3-point contest, it was entertaining. The All-Star game was fairly entertaining. Could have been better, but time goes on. Caitlin Clark did not play. Obviously, is going to be the biggest marketing draw. She's still dealing with a groin injury, and she's still not back yet. So that's kind of hurting the ratings to a certain little bit, but that's neither here nor there. The MVP of that weekend, to me, had to be the Stud Bros. It was nobody in the WNBA. It was the Stud Bros. I think they're a social media star, but like they showed their stardom the whole week, because like everybody that was associated with the WNBA, they were wilding out that weekend from party to party. And mind you, they're not in LA, they're not in New York, they're not in Chicago, they're not in Atlanta, they're in Indiana. Shout out to Indiana, because like, look, that whole weekend was wild. I loved every bit of it. Congrats to them. Hopefully they can be able to carry on the success, especially since they're going to be expanding in the next few years.
Yeah, I think we're getting 2 teams in the next few years.
28. I think Cleveland's getting the team in 28. I know Philly's getting one in 2030. And shoot, who's the other team in 29? I'll have to go back and think about it. I'll have to go back and look it up.
But yeah, 2 or 3 teams coming. But the talk of the weekend has been this.
Yeah.
For those who aren't watching,
I'm gonna let you take it that one.
You know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the pay us what you owe us shirts. There's been a lot of discourse going back and forth with 2 separate things.
Real quick, Detroit is getting the WNBA team in 2029. Go ahead.
I thought it was Detroit. So I'm from all of the information I can find from a numerical standpoint. The how do I put this? For me personally, I'm not going to tell you what to think. I'm not going to tell you how to feel. How you think and feel is up to you. That's on
not
you.
A thing.
For me,
we will talk trash.
For sure. Yes. But I want, and there's going to be plenty of that coming in the next few weeks. For me, I want to give you as much information as I can and allow you to make your own decision. And I'm going to give you my thoughts, but my thoughts do not reflect how you should feel, if that makes any sense. So before I get in, and I don't fully understand this. This is from the information I could find, so I will talk about this as knowledgeably as I can.
Let's talk about it.
The biggest talk around All-Star Weekend was the WNBA players asking to be paid what they feel they are owed. They are gunning for $1 million salaries, which I am not opposed. And where everybody likes to bring up the fact that they're currently on pace to be down $40 million for profit. I want to break down a couple things and why I feel like this is due to happen. I believe there's another CBA coming up in 2026 or 2028, one of the two. There's another CBA for the WNBA players coming up. And I feel like at that time, they're going to be able to get what they want. But right now, with the way the payment structure is, it's not humanly possible. So this is from Jocelyn Sheck at NBC News. They have a breakdown of WNBA players' share of league revenue is a fraction of what players in the NBA, NHL, and NFL receive. The way most leagues work is a 50% to 53% owner share, and then everything else is player revenue. NHL is an exact 50-50 split. NBA is a 51% goes to the owners, 49% goes to the player revenue.
Okay.
NFL, 50, and this is both owners and also outside investors. NFL is 52-48. WNBA is 90.7 to 9.3, meaning 90.7% of the revenue goes to outside investors, and the NBA, who I believe holds 42% of the WNBA, leaving only 9.3% left for players' salaries, which to me was terrible bargaining and horrible foresight from a negotiating perspective. Granted, hindsight's 2020, so I understand that. But this is the current breakdown for what happens and why the WNBA salaries are what they are. Jalen, were you able to pull up revenue for the league yet, or no?
Looking it up now. Keep talking.
So while you're pulling that up, I'm going to bring up something else because everybody wants to talk about the $40 million deficit. There is a article that got dropped from ESPN. It's a 2017 article, so it is older. But to show that this does happen in professional sports, that teams operate at a negative, I would love to bring this to everybody's attention. So
let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I got you. This is an old ESPN article. And before we get into that, Jalen, go ahead. What is the current numbers for the year?
According to Deloitte, I don't know what that is. The WNBA's revenue in 2025 are projected to surpass $1 billion, significantly up from $710 million in 2024. Other sources confirm this projection, stating the WNBA is expected to hit $1 billion in revenue in 2025. This growth is part of a larger trend in women's professional basketball, with the industry's revenue estimated to grow by almost 45% between 2024 and 2025, surpassing $1 billion in 2025.
I want to pull up the revenue for the top 4 sports leagues for 2025.
Yep.
Just to be clear. 2024, the NFL generated roughly $18.7 billion. MLB was $11.32. NBA was $12 billion, and the NHL is $5.5 billion. That is in revenue through 2024. So yes, it is still a fifth of the NHL. And no, NHL players do not make that large amount of revenue. So I understand where the holdup is, but I do believe we can see. I don't know what the average NHL salary is. Brent, I might have to defer to you on this one.
Yep.
But to me,
you said average. You said average NBA salary.
Average NHL. So to me, and one thing I want to mention too, when we talk about WNBA and operating at a $40 million loss this year, per Windhurst and Zach Lowe, 14 of the NBA's 30 teams lost money in 2016 before collecting revenue sharing payouts, and 9 finished in the red even after accounting for those payments, according to a confidential NBA financial record obtained by ESPN.com.
As of right now,
go ahead.
The average NHL player salary is around $3.8 million per year.
And look at that average WNBA salary is a fraction of that. It is $102,000. The league minimum is $66,000. So if you, I mean, yes, it's, but to me, the average should be around a fifth, because it is a fifth of the NBA's or a fifth of the NHL's revenue. You should be able to expect a fifth of the WNBA's revenue to be in these contracts. So from an apples to apples standpoint, again, I am not an accountant. I don't know enough about this to that degree to know what it should be, but I'm trying to give everybody as much information so they can infer what they want to infer from this. But to show you that some of these franchises do operate at a loss. Again, in 2016, 9 teams finished in the red even after accounting for revenue sharing payments from TV sales and everything. The Atlanta Hawks, the Brooklyn Nets, the Cleveland Cavaliers, Cleveland Cavaliers, Detroit Pistons, Memphis Grizzlies, Milwaukee Bucks, Orlando Magic, San Antonio Spurs, and Washington Wizards all ended up in the red after revenue sharing. Not before, after. To show a little bit more of a breakdown, the Nets lost $44.3 million in 2016, and the Pistons lost $45. Those are the two. You have the highest earning teams with the Lakers and the Warriors, lowest earning teams were the Nets and the Pistons, meaning that 2 teams, not a league, teams operated at more than what the WNBA was operating at as a loss this year.
Fast forward to this. The shirts that they had on All-Star Weekend, it says, pay us what you owe us. Let's answer that question. What do they own? Let's ask this question. What does the league owe them?
I am not opposed to the top players getting $1 million salaries. I have no issue with that. I think, does every player deserve $1 million salary at this point? No. Based on the revenue you're bringing in, it is a fifth of what the NHL is. Those numbers should equally be about a fifth. But the problem is they're never going to get to that point under this current structure they have.
So basically, let me ask you this. Let's say about 2 years. WNBA grows even more. They expand and actually, let's go to, we're in 2025. Let's go 5 years now.
We'll go
league expands, gets those 3 teams. They're up to 18. And they're up to 18 teams now because 5 have already gotten there. They grow
13 teams. It should be a 16.
Okay. Right now, their revenue is what again?
It's going to be $1 billion. I think $1 billion is what we got.
Okay. Right now, their revenue is at $1 billion. Based on the current structure at this moment in time, let's say they get up to, we're doing 5 years. I say let's do 2.75 billion. About how much? How much would a WNBA player make at that point? Because based on the current structure, let's say they better yet, I'm not gonna do 2 billion. Do 2 billion.
Don't make me do math this late.
But by the current structure, you're talking about the percentage of
we're losing them, Jalen.
I know we need to move on because we want
to. No, I know.
Yeah.
For me, I like the number side of things. It fascinates me. But I guess for me, I wouldn't be opposed to the top 20 players getting $1 million salaries.
I wouldn't
be opposed to that at all.
Angel Wilson, Caitlin Clark,
Angel Reese,
Angel Reese, basically the ones that are that valuable.
Yeah.
Nafisa Collier, Sabrina Ionescu.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to the top 20 players getting $1 million salaries. I have no issue with that.
By the way, do you know how much they made it at the All-Star game?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Yeah, exactly.
To me, I'm not opposed to them getting $1 million salaries for the top 20 players.
Yep.
I don't think it can currently, with the current structure and the current revenue they're bringing in, from a financial standpoint, I don't think it could expand to the entire league. But I feel like the top 20 players can get $1 million contracts in the next 2 years.
Yep.
What I want to mention too with those $40 million teams, I want to bring up their current rosters because that's fun to me. The teams that operate in net loss, you have Brooke Lopez. This is the 2016-2017 Brooklyn Nets salary cap. Brooke Lopez making $21 million that year. The entire WNBA salary cap is less than $20 million currently. But this team operated at a $40 million loss. The Detroit Pistons, Andre Drummond, $22 million, operating at a $40 million loss, or over $40 million loss. Again, infer what you want from this. I just want you to have all the information. I like seeing these counterpoints that people make. I like poking holes in the balloons of these ideas if there is a flaw, because I want you to be, I want you to know what you're talking about. I don't know everything. Jalen, you don't know anything. Nope. You don't know everything either. Sorry.
I know we got to move on.
Yes, we do. But to me, infer what you want. I'm not opposed to the top 20 players getting $1 million contracts in the next 2 years.
Yep.
So that's where I stand on this.
Let's get on to it, because this is the big one that's we've been hearing it everywhere.
So we have the ESPN's top 10 quarterbacks
versus Cam Newton's
top 10 quarterback. Let me go ahead and put up Cam Newton's while I get ESPN.
Let's do ESPN's first, and then that'll get us to Cam. This was posted off by Jeremy Fowler, senior ESPN writer, NFL writer. Gave the list of top 10 quarterbacks based off of quote unquote executives, coaches, and scouts. Mm-hmm. The first four, you're not going to argue. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. Obviously, everybody want to discount Mahomes after what happened at the end of the season. I'm not going to do that because he's still got the resume, he's still got the talent, and he got the team that's going in this year. I'm keeping him there. Josh Allen coming off an MVP season. Joe Burrow, I'm a little bit questioning that, but he had a spectacular year. Lamar could have won another MVP. That's neither here nor there. Then it goes down to everything below. Jaden Daniels at 5, Matthew Stafford at 6, Justin Herbert at 7, Jared Goff at 8, Jalen Hurts at 9, Baker Mayfield at 10. There are several different arguments. First off, we're going to do the regular arguments of the top 10. Then we'll get down to like the elephant in the room, or Sooner in the room, whichever, or that other school in Alabama in the room. We'll get to that later. When you look at this list, what goes to your mind?
I have no issue with the top 5. Top 5 being Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar, Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels being the top 5 after last season, I have no issue with. No issue with it. He took a team that was not supposed to be anywhere near that level of the playoffs. I don't have an issue with Jaden Daniels being in the top 5 because that team was not easy. That team was not built to succeed like that. We watched him do amazing things. I don't have an issue with that. I'm going based solely on last year's numbers because I think there's a name missing if we're looking at overall, but I'm going based solely on last year's performance. Stafford, I'm okay with it 6. Herbert, I'm okay with it 7. Goff, I'm okay with it. I'd flip Goff and Herbert, but that's just me. I would also flip Hurts and Herbert. I would put Jalen Hurts at 8. I would put Goff at 7, Herbert at 9, and I'm okay with Baker at 10. Again, based solely on last year. The reason why I have Jalen Hurts so low, he was not the reason they won those games. You cannot tell me, any Eagles fans out there listening, you would have gotten to the playoffs, won the Super Bowl, without that defense or Saquon Barkley having a career year. I do not think Jalen Hurts belongs in the top 5. Because I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback. I'll give him top 10 based solely on accolades, but I can't give him top 5. Because I do not think that Daniel, based on what I can think of off the top of my head, that he is the reason why they went as far as they did. I think he's a situation where the sum of their parts is greater than him. versus a Mahomes or a Burrow or a Josh Allen or a Lamar or a Jaden Daniels dragging their team to the finish line. Joe Burrow would have been an MVP this year if that defense had more than 2 people on it. And they got rid of all their players, and they might even bring Hendrickson. He's in Northeast Florida right now having a good time. I know that highway. But to me, I think these top 5 I have no issue with. The top 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that back half of the top 10, that's where I start flipping things. But I put Goff at 7. I put Hurts at 8. I'd put Herbert at 9, and I'd put Baker at 10. That's where I'm at. I didn't even put my boy in the top 10, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that, because based on last year's stats, he does not deserve to be a top 10 quarterback.
You done. I was about to come over here, like, get onto a lot of folks, mainly try to defend my dog Jalen Hurts, who's also a member of Omega Psi Alpha Tau rule. Now I got to get on to you. You keeping Jaden Daniels at 5. You want to know? Mm-hmm. You want to know? You know this sounds familiar, right? There was another guy who had a spectacular rookie season, had everybody talking this, that, and the third about him. He was going to be the next big thing. They want to put him in the top 5. You know who I'm referring to, right?
Who had Hurts as a top 5 quarterback after his rookie year?
Oh no, I ain't talking about Hurts.
Who are you talking about?
You talking about you got a rookie quarterback in top 5 coming off the year that he had, and he had a spectacular year. He had the greatest rookie quarterback season of all time. I know another group of people who was hyped about another rookie quarterback having another spectacular rookie season, and he was receiving a whole bunch of hype going into the season, and did not repeat.
Which give me the names.
He's in your division.
You're talking CJ and who?
Yes.
CJ and who? Just CJ.
Just CJ. Because we're about to do the same. We're about to do the same thing over again.
That's fair.
And I understand what Jaden Daniels did and how he did it. He was spectacular. He showed up. He was clutch after clutch, made big time plays, and led that Washington football team, that Washington Commander squad, to the NFC Championship game. I don't take nothing away from him. Here's why I ain't got him 5. He got to do it again. We're talking the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. Is he in the 10? Yes. I'll give you that. He's in the 10. But he's in that 8 to low range, because you got to earn those higher spots. You got to do it again. Consistent. Dog, you want to know what's talent? You want to know what's really talented? Is when you're able to do it again when folks got film on you. When your roster's not the same. When everybody in your division got better. I don't have him at 5. I got him in the top 10, but I ain't got him at 5. I will put Matthew Stafford there. I'll give him that respect. Herbert, you already know how I feel about Herbert. We know how we feel about Herbert.
No, I hear you.
There's no argument on that one. To me, he should not be there because he has all that talent. He has no production to follow it. Lot of folks.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Statistically, the production is there. From a numbers standpoint, the production is there. But if you are counting
that
wins,
is true.
If you are counting wins as a quarterback stat, which I am not, if it is great, if the team is, I do my best not to count wins as a quarterback stat unless you won solely based on the production of your quarterback.
You're going to fail that argument every time, because here's the thing.
I don't think it's a quarterback stat.
If guys are that immensely talented and they're going to have these boatloads of stats, what the heck are you in the NFL for? Are you there
to play?
Huh?
They touch the ball to play.
And therefore they have that much power and responsibility for that outcome. Next, we go into the fact that if you're just in the NFL to just rack up stats, and just to look good and make money, okay, cool, that's just your career. But if you're in there to try to win a Super Bowl Which, correct me if I'm wrong, that's the ultimate goal in the NFL, correct?
For sure.
Especially if you're a quarterback.
And you won an MVP.
That's the ultimate goal, correct?
Usually.
Okay. Does Justin Herbert have an MVP?
Nope.
Does he have an All-Pro?
I believe so.
No.
He doesn't?
He doesn't. Go check.
I'll check it in a second.
He has Pro Bowls. I think he has a Pro Bowl.
Okay. I think
he had a Pro Bowl. We're talking about Pro.
Confusing the two of them.
So, with all that withstanding, and he has a lot of talent. If we're talking talent, yeah, he's in the 5. Heck, he might be in the 4. If we're talking talent. But this list is more than just the talent. It's talent and what have you done with it. And the folks that want to say he ain't got the talent that Jalen Hurts might have, or what Patrick Mahomes has had, or what Joe Burrow got, or what Lamar Jackson got, all of that might be true. Is Mike Williams a scrub? Even though he's retired, is Mike Williams a scrub? Yes or no? Is he a scrub?
Mike Williams is not a scrub. Mike Williams is retired.
Keenan Allen.
No longer the team. On the field half the time.
Is he a scrub?
I wouldn't say he's a scrub.
Okay, then.
I'd say he's mid now, but I wouldn't call him a scrub.
Jared Cook. Is he a scrub?
No, that's fair.
Austin Eckler.
No.
At that time. Rashawn Slater.
The thing I will give...
Answer the question.
No, I wouldn't call Slater a scrub.
Let's see.
Palmer is also not a scrub. Everett is also not a scrub.
Everett's not a scrub. So let me ask you this: if he didn't have scrubs, if he didn't have the stuff that Josh Allen had, or you could say he had better weapons than what Cam Newton had, and again, we're going to get onto him a little bit later.
Cam in a bit.
We'll talk to Cam in a bit. But if he had all that and he had some weapons, why is it that he ain't got no playoff wins? He had 5 against Houston in last year. He's been to the playoffs twice. And if you want to,
They said got bounced both times.
Has no playoff wins. Had a chance to get one, but your guy beat him. Your guy came back on him. Yes. And again, I put blame on him because your defense couldn't stop him in the second half. But you had the ball at least about 5 times, and you went scoreless.
The reason why I have some sympathy for Herbert and why I still will. The reason why he's in the top 10 for me, he's at 9, but he's in the top 10 for me, is because he was in a situation that I have sympathy for, because you cannot tell me Staley was a good offensive coach.
I agree with that.
You cannot.
He's supposed to be a defensive coach.
So him being in charge of some of the offensive play calling, hiring offensive coordinators, and having sort of oversight on everything that's happening, I have a little bit of leeway for Herbert. Statistically, he is a top 10 quarterback. Accolade-wise, absolutely not. But the reason why I have Jaden Daniels in there at 5 is because he carried that Commanders team. And he had help from a good defense. He had almost 4,500 total yards and what? He had 6 rushing touchdowns, I think. He had 6 rushing touchdowns, and he had, see if I can find his passing touchdowns, 31 total touchdowns. CJ Stroud, his rookie year, had about 4,300 yards, so 200 less yards, because I'm counting rushing yards and passing yards. I know CJ Stroud is not a mobile quarterback, but he had 3 touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, 25 passing touchdowns. So Jaden Daniels produced more overall offense. And I think that this team, CJ Stroud, and the biggest reason CJ had that fallback, if you ask Houston fans, is because he couldn't call audibles.
Bro,
I don't know if that's true or not.
I got to cut you off because I got to
go for it. Point. My fault. Go ahead.
Jaden Daniels has to do it again. Point blank, period. Matthew Stafford has already shown that he can do it. And he can still do it at that age. Yeah, he's on the tail end, but he's still up there as far as ones to sling it. I got him at 5. Justin Herbert should not be up that 7 above Goff, above Hurts, and above Baker. I got him at 10. I'm sorry, because Baker Mayfield, I'm gonna give him his credit. He did go against Philly last year and knock them out. He did do that. Now he had to go into Detroit. And we all know how that went. Jared Goff got the best of them, and they was able to win. Baker Mayfield has improved and resurrected his career. So there's no shame on that one. But with Herbert, again, you have all that talent. You've had that talent around you. Yeah, you might not have the coaching. And this is where I was doing the whole baby and Colin thing. Because you want me to have sympathy for somebody. I'm sorry. If you rank if you in that range, you want to be at that tier 1 with Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, and Jackson. You got to find a way to get it done. And this is why I ain't got no sympathy for Burrow neither. Because we want to complain and give them all the excuses in the world. But, dog, this is life. This is life. Dog, do you have any control of the situation that you are in? About where you are in life? Do you have control of every situation that you are in?
Not every situation.
Neither do I. A lot of us in life have control, are very fortunate to be in situations that we are in. And a lot more are not. So, dog, think about this. Say you're back home in Jacksonville, but you're in a impoverished community and you're running a nonprofit organization. You have limited resources, but at the end of the day, you're going to do everything you can to make sure that my organization is able to achieve its goal. Does not have all the resources, but we're going to find a way to get it done. And then you're able to last long until you're able to build and put yourself in a better situation. If Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, or any of these guys that are not in that situation, if they're not in that situation and they have no control over it to be able to change it, then you got to find a way to be able to get the job done with what you got. That's life. That might not be fair, but that is life, dog.
I hear you. Here's my question and why I don't put wins solely on the quarterback. Do they play defense?
No.
So Burrow can score every drive, but if the defense can't stop whoever the Bengals are playing, and they also score every drive, that's Burrow's fault?
Question: can Burrow be able to hold on to the ball as long as they can to try to limit the amount of opportunities that the defense might have to get on the field? Can Burrow not turn the ball over?
Yes, but you have to score at some point. I'm saying in a world.
Yes, you have to score. You have to score at some point. Yes, Burrow can't fix the defense, but he can do it. Yes, but he can do everything he can to make sure that defense don't get on that field that much.
No turnovers.
Dog,
no fourth downs.
Dog, they lost to the Patriots in week 1.
I understand they did. I watched. My point is they do not have a defense, and you can't put that on the quarterback. I
understand you can't put that on the quarterback, but because we're not the owners, we're not the GMs, their fan base can't change that defense.
No, you're right. And we got to keep moving too.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
But because we don't have the power, he doesn't have the power to be able to fix that defense or that stuff. You have to work with what you got, but your expectation is still the same. Dog, think about this. If Joe Burrow's expectation was to make the playoffs, not to win a Super Bowl for the rest of his career, we just need you to make the playoffs. Easy. The critics will be fine. But Joe Burrow's not in that category where your expectation is to make the playoffs.
We need to pick this conversation up a different time because we can pick it up because we got a couple more topics we got to get to. And
let's carry on.
Let's carry on. We got Cam Newton's ratings, and then we got to keep moving quick. Cam Newton has Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Mahomes, Burrow, Stafford, Goff, Daniels, Stroud, Herbert, Baker. Stroud is not a top 10 quarterback.
No, not yet. Not again. Well, okay.
I am going.
Stroud is iffy.
I am going solely on last year.
Now, here's the thing with his list. And I listened to what he said. He has a lot of context with this list as far as like you mentioned, Jalen Hurts is not the reason that they won. A lot of these guys that he have on his list are the sole reason or primary reason in which they won. And to me, that is utter BS. Because, again, I go back into the situation thing. Do you control the situation that you are in? Or are you in a situation that you have to work with what you got? Sometimes you got the 5-star utensils, or better yet, you got the latest updated textbooks. And other times you got old utensils or tools that are basically run down, but you got to find a way to get the job done with resources that you ain't got. You still got to find a way. Think about this. folks want to point out Mahomes had a top 5 defense. Dog, I remember the time when, he still had Chris Jones, but the defense wasn't that great. He was still able to get his team to the AFC Championship, let alone like the defense was able to generate enough stops. Dog, they couldn't stop. They couldn't stop Josh Allen. Going back to that game, Mahomes still had to lead that team to find a way.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go into like Josh Allen beating Lamar Jackson, and scratch that point, dog. I get the point as far as like being the sole reason. I understand that, but there's only been one quarterback that has been the primary reason or somewhat a primary reason to do everything that fits on that category to get the job done.
I would say multiple years too. I hear you. I think Mahomes is still the best quarterback in the league.
Yes.
Whatever it says. I don't disagree with you on that at all.
No, he's been to the playoffs. He's been in 21 on postseason games.
I know.
He's 17 for 21.
Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. Anybody who disagrees is just wrong. But we got to keep moving. We're running a little long.
I know. I'll make this last point. Obviously, we already know the biggest issue is why you ain't got Jalen Hurts in that conversation.
Why does he have Stroud over Hurts? Is my question.
Oh no. Why is Herbert over Hurts? No, I'm not.
Herbert should not be over Hurts, and Stroud should not be on the top 10 list based on last year.
Bro, I understand that you made this point, and everybody else has made this point as well when it comes to the whole Jalen Hurts conversation. Mm-hmm. As far as like whether he should be in the top 10 or top 5, I'm not going to put him in the 5 yet. I want to, but I can't because I understand he got to be able to do it again, and I think he can. But at the same time, dog, to not have him in 10 is disrespectful because at the same time, you might not be the reason why your team wins, and you might be the reason, and might not be the reason why they lose. But dang it, all we need you to do is just get the job done. If we need to throw the ball, you can do it. Dog, somebody said it perfectly. Jalen Hurts is one of the quarterbacks in the league that, heck, if we need to run the ball, heck, we can run it. If we need to throw the ball, we can throw it. If we need to do both, we can do it. He can do all them things. It's just he's doing what's best for the team. And I'm like, I get sick and tired of everybody saying you could put another quarterback in that system and they'll do the same outcome. No, there's probably maybe 1 or 2 guys in the league right now that can do what Jalen Hurts is doing. You want to know why I feel that way? Because you got to not only do you have all that talent, you got to be able to manage that talent. You got to manage the egos and the personality that's in that talent. You got to handle that fan base. You got to handle that media. You got to handle all those expectations. Dog, Jalen Hurts built for this stuff and more. And that's not top 10.
No disrespect towards Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts should be a top 10 quarterback. I got no issue with that. But to me, I think there are more than 2 or 3 other guys who can do what he has to do. But that's a conversation for another day because we got to keep moving. Training camp. So, a couple news around training camp. Jerry Jones taking shots at Micah Parsons. And then,
you can't make this up.
Bro, we got two old white dudes are taking shots at cornerstone players or freshly drafted players.
No, one's a cornerstone, the other potential, but we ain't getting that one until probably another episode.
That's another conversation.
Oh my god! I thought Jerry Jones was bad.
I feel very particular about that situation.
Oh my god! If you know who we talking about, but dog, I feel bad for the Bengals.
I do.
You dealt with this joker for years.
I do. And then you've got, that's a whole other conversation. But let's talk on this real quick, make our announcement. We got to keep moving. So, Jerry Jones taking shots at Micah Parsons is absolutely insane. Yep. I have no idea why you're doing that. He's the best player on your defense. He's the cornerstone of your defense, and you're making him unhappy because
you're doing the same thing that you did with other people. All right, next thing. I will pull it back up because we got to do this for the listeners. Jerry Jones quoted earlier this week, and said, and I quote, "Just because we sign him doesn't mean we'll have him. He was hurt 6 games last year. Seriously, he threw some shots at Dak, but that ain't nothing new. But doing this with Michael Parsons, dog, I get that boy."
No, I'm with you.
I thank God I'm not that fan base, man.
Every day I get happier and happier that I'm not a Cowboys fan.
I do, but at the same time, at some point, it just gets sad.
It does.
Like,
it
you
really
want to
does.
stay a fan of this? Because he ain't dying and he ain't leaving. I mean, dog, I saw a Bleacher Report that said he thought about retiring. That joker ain't gonna do that. His ego's too big.
He's not gonna retire. He's gonna be fine. He's not gonna retire.
His ego's
There's
too
no
big.
way. Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah. So we do have an update.
Michael, take Michael off along and ask for a trade.
Mm-hmm. But we've got some training camp stuff we want to talk about with NFL training camp coming up. We are making an announcement. We are doing a undertaking that we're trying to do. We are going to try, whether it's one of us or both of us, we are going to do our own version of the kind of play off the Sports After Dark state of the divisions. If you don't know, go check them out.
Yep.
We are going to break down and have a person from each NFL team come on 2 at a time, talk about their team, their preseason, their off season, and their regular season thoughts going into training camp and during training camp. We've already got a lineup we're working on for guests coming on. And I'll read off the list of fans that we may need. I ask that you be semi-knowledgeable and semi-reasonable, and we'll go from there. So we're going to skip our listening question of the week. Kind of keep moving. So if you guys like the show and you're excited about this thing coming up, let us know. We'll be in touch if we're trying to get in touch with some certain fans. If we'll find the list on Twitter, what we're looking for. Shout outs always come at the end of the show. Rate 5 stars, comment, all that fun stuff. If you like the show, if you didn't like the show, blind date, bad date, whatever. Gave you 50 minutes of content. If you didn't like it, that's fine. No reason to leave a negative review. Feed the algorithm gods, drive us the charts, all that fun stuff. If you like the show and you rate 5 stars or you retweet, repost, let us know. You get a shout out at the end. Or if you're a show that we think if you like our show, we think you'll like the show as well. Go check out Jim, a fan of the van. Go check out 1420 Sports Podcast. Brent, Aaron and Bruliano Sports. I know they're back. Jim and I just hit Steel and Teal recently. Darren of a Chill Takes, the guys at IIP Radio, E-Man at Average Sports. Go check out him and Jim show, Cigar and Sports. John, a Wrestling Fan Insight, whether you're a hardcore wrestling fan or a casual wrestling fan or anything in between.
Speaking of which, Monday Night Raw was lit, dog.
I bet it was.
And I went when I had a cold, dog. I had a massive cold. I couldn't breathe with nothing. I was gonna get to Birmingham. That wasn't stopping me. But dog, shoot, I was so goddamn dog. I was sweating like a hussy in church, man. Like I was that hot, dog. But like I was gonna get there, dog.
We got something with it,
bro. I saw like dog. I had a chance to see one of my favorite wrestlers. I saw LA Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Dog, when Jay Uso came out, the whole Birmingham Legacy Arena was lit. It was fun. And then to have Roman Reigns come back, like do that return, man, I had all the fingers up, acknowledge the tribal chief, man. It was
there you go. Lord. But 2 more shout outs at the end. Always go check out Sports After Dark. Love those guys over there. Thank you for the support as always. Go hop in the state of. I know they got the NFC South coming up soon. If you're looking to gamble, please gamble responsibly. Don't bet the rent. Don't bet the bills. Listen to Nate's Daily Wager. Thank you. And as always, we will see you next time.
Peace.